Let's see.
He's here.
Approval, hey, everybody's here?
Yep.
I didn't see Raj sitting in front of me. I looked up, I'm like, oh, no, he's sitting right there.
Approval of minutes from December
did I do?
5th, 2008.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain?
Senior Center, Tony, you're up.
I have to abstain on that one, too. Sorry, you were quicker. I wasn't here on the 5th.
So 2 abstain.
Come on, keep up.
I'm sorry.
Don't let's be out of here by 8:10.
All's going
No.
well since last week and the week before. Plenty of work going in the building, painting, ceiling tiles, finishes, floor prep, ceiling, ceramic tiles are in the bathrooms, plumbing fixtures are going in, kitchen equipment's being delivered tomorrow. Everything's on track for end of January, mid-February.
Is it permanent
In
heat
the
yet?
building. Permanent heat is not up and running yet. But they are trying to schedule the manufacturers to come out and do startup.
Don't worry, you won't need heat.
No. There's plenty of heat blowing in there, it's very warm. Really what we're hoping to do tonight is just pay a few of the invoices that have been kicking around since earlier, and I can either go over furniture with you now or later at your leisure.
Up to you guys. Want to go to furniture now, or?
We're here, might as well. Sounds good. Next.
Furniture.
So we have received proposals from
Thanks, Tony.
3 companies, if you pass those around. Office Resources, WB Mason, and Creative Office Pavilions. You'll also see on this spreadsheet a couple other column, DL Billiards, is just one of the companies that we've been working with for the billiard room equipment and furniture and fit out. And then I have another column in there because there's some other furniture, storage, units and other things that we will need to still find a vendor for. The shaded items that you see, even though we gave furniture vendors the same plans, went through them, gave them the same description of what everything is, because they each have different lines, some things are available in one manufacturer but not the other, or in some cases they just didn't provide a price for something. Those shaded items are items that I put plug numbers in so that it either drew from a different item within their pricing or from another vendor's pricing, so that they're all apples to apples. Nobody's bid is without something, nobody's obscure in any regard that way. So in the first item on the second page, where you see the tall bookcase, one vendor gave us a $710 unit price, where the other 2 are shaded. I just took that price and said, okay, to make apples meet apples, I'm gonna plug in the 710
Yeah.
on the other vendors.
It's on the second page.
So, I mean, are we anticipating that,
It's the first
are we
page.
anticipating that let's assume, you know, the parent low bidder is Office Resources. Are we anticipating that, okay, Office Resources didn't give us a price on that, so we'll go to Creative Office to get that?
No,
Or-
I'm just saying, they didn't have a price in there for it. I'm plugging the 710 in, just to make the numbers all work, so that everybody has all of the equipment and all of the pricing. Now, they might be 715, they might be, give or take a little, you know, they might be less, they might be more, but just so that nobody is missing big numbers, everybody's got a number plugged in as an or equal.
I just, oh, go ahead. I'm
So,
confused.
It's
looking,
kind of balancing a bid. When you bid stuff out and somebody doesn't bid, you either take everybody's number out for that, which then means we're sitting here with a very deflated price, or we carry the high number across all 3 so that we know we can buy it for at least for that value.
so that was looking at this, you've got freestanding, freestanding PEDs, I don't know what that is. The next one down, reception. You've got 5 at 300, So that's, and the reason you did that is because the bid you got was the 1469 and you just, you
So
know.
the bid we got there was $293.97 in the middle.
Mhm.
So I just plugged the other two at 300.
So, but then looking, the one bid that we have at
That's the
the
mistake.
sofa, you had a bid of 2,800, but you put 1,300
13 on the other two.
in the other two.
You should have put 2,800 on.
You would think you're right, but you're likely not.
I mean, I
Well,
just.
we're only going by your explanation,
Because-
so.
And the reason I'm asking this
Oh,
is,
no,
the
that's why
bids
we're
are
having
so
the
close.
conversation. Right.
You know, if we were looking at office resources versus WB Mason and a variance of 30 grand, I would say it's a no-brainer. We got a $3,000 variance with a bunch of estimates. I don't know that we have the low, you know, when we make those estimates into real numbers, I don't know that we're gonna have,
Well, two are within a couple $1,000. One of them is $25,000 difference.
well, yeah, so.
But that first company that has the lowest bid, 3 of them were giving them,
Value.
3 of the items were saying it's 710, 300, 1,300.
And then there's 4 on the next page.
If it's 900, 600, and 2,500,
They could be over the.
he's over the 85.
And that's, I mean, yeah, I'm assuming we would have to go with the lower parent, you know, assuming they're all qualified bidders, and they are, they're state contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
By law, we have to take the lowest qualified bidder, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that we can make a decision.
Without these guys bidding on
without
everything.
Actual numbers, because creative office and office resources are so close.
Well, let's put it this way. If we don't do this tonight and we do it by next meeting, is that gonna screw anything up?
I don't know. I don't know when your next meeting
Do we-
could be scheduled for.
January, the second week in
January
January. Yeah,
January 9th.
Is there any reason why we can't, I mean, we're gonna go with the low bidder, correct?
yeah.
Is there any reason why we can't just say, once you get actual numbers for this, take a conditional vote that says, Office Resources is the apparent low bidder, we will go with them, but once we get full numbers from everybody else, if that changes, then we would go with creative office. Is that something we could do?
Does, have you used, these people before?
I've used all of these
They're
before.
all good.
You used WB Mason
Right,
on
for
the police station.
Yeah.
They're not even in the range.
Um, Yeah. They have a lot of stuff in here. Their initial price was really high. So we tried to bring everybody in the line. There was a reason though why I did that 1,300 in there. 1,300, I think, reflects somebody's price.
Well, because that raises both, if it's 2,800, that raises both of those outside ones another 1,500,
Right.
roughly. Could be more. So I'm just curious, why wouldn't they bid on everything?
That's what I was
They
gonna
don't
ask.
have it. And if they don't have it, how can, why didn't they bid on the tall bookcase? Why didn't they bid on the freestanding heads? Why when you ask them to bid on this apples to apples, why didn't they give us a number?
Because we didn't ask them to bid on those items.
Oh.
WB Mason, in their proposal, just went through and fit out the building with whatever they felt the building needed to be fit out with. So there was a lot more. Their price in here is over $100,000,
108 on this list.
165
Okay.
of furniture that they put in here, including marker boards, tack boards, the pedestals, bookcases. So we took this and the other two quotes, met with Lisa and Janice the other day and went through and said, hey, this guy has tall bookcase. Would you want one somewhere? Yeah, that would be great in my office. So we looked at her office and the mobile pedestals, the freestanding pedestals, they're like the pedestal on the side of your desk. It's got a box drawer, and a
Got it.
file drawer. Because they're not part of your desk, they're a freestanding pedestal. Those, she felt we could use in the reception area underneath the built-in counter. So even though we didn't ask for them, as we're going through and refining the furniture layout, looking at each of the three vendors' proposals, we decided to put some of those into the package. So then I carried that number throughout the other two, knowing that they all can provide pedestals, bookcases. They're all furniture vendors. They have access to the same items, just different manufacturers.
So you did WB Mason's list, and you compared the other, and had the other two match the list that we have to.
After bringing it way
Have to bring it
down.
down, have to bring it way down.
So-
The one, what you needed.
They were not given WB Mason's
Yeah.
list. They were all given this drawing.
Oh, and you said everybody, so this isn't really a,
This isn't really a bid. Because everybody can make their decision on what the building needs, so now if we know this is what we want, this is exactly what we want now?
Yes.
So why don't we ask them to give us prices on everything on this list?
And then we'll
Without
know.
you estimating. If this is, after looking at
the plans and sitting down with
with everybody, this is what we want in this building.
Right.
So now everybody.
So if we wait till January 9th, is that gonna be an issue, or do we need to take a conditional vote that says, we'll go with the low, once we get the full prices, we authorize
Go to the lowest.
you to go with the lowest bidder?
I like that idea.
Can we do that?
Yeah, you can, I would recommend that you authorize the chairman to work with Tony and Lisa to review the bids and to go with the low bidder.
Lowest bid.
So,
Second.
Yeah, but with that said, though, we gotta come up with a list. We
Well,
can't, with the 165, the $165,000 list, we've narrowed that way down, we've took furniture out.
This is the list.
This is the list now. So once we ask these guys to all give us the bids, we
Right.
can't add things to it without asking them all to give us bids. So this is the list now.
And it's
Okay.
gonna, and once we get all these prices.
Then we're
we'll
gonna have
the
a
exact
price. I
figure.
understand that, but we just can't add to it anymore, because then
Right.
if we do, we have
But this is
to.
what they feel is adequate, is what you need.
or can we, is that
You
true?
can add all you want.
No, we can keep
afterwards.
adding, but we have to ask all of them to give us a price
Well,
now.
no, you pick a low vendor based off what you have.
And then it would be like a
and you
change
work with
order to
that
say we
one
want these.
vendor. It's what we did on the police station. You had multiple vendors, you decided on one, and then the chief added, changed credenza, moved this, and the police department had other stuff that was added and taken out
Well, I mean,
afterward.
But you have everything you guys feel
Yeah,
you
right.
need.
I mean, I don't
right,
think we should
on
be-
this list. Okay, so,
because once we change it, then the low bidder can say, now I'm in.
But that's like
And
a
the-
change order. I mean,
Yeah, that's what kills us all the time, so.
But fortunately, these are all list price these are state contract list price.
so there's not gonna be any change order, because this is what, everything everybody's gone over to listen, this is what they need.
But when we're
I
at the
mean,
98% solution, when we say, oh crap, we need one more of these.
yeah, yeah.
Well, then, I know you're saying that, Pat, but one line here, it says zero.
994.
It says the zero. Does that mean we're honoring none?
Correct. She has the couch.
But it's in the bid.
It's not in the bottom line
No.
cost of the bid, because it's.
Oh, it's zero next
Straps
to
laid
it.
out.
Two
Straps laid out
sofas,
there.
they all have a two-seat sofa.
Okay,
One gave us a price of $999, the other's $2169, the other one's
that's what I was
$1,000.
gonna say. You said they're all set to the bid, but look at, that's $1,000 difference from one to the other. So even though they're all on the state bid, they
If
could
they're-
still be more.
Oh, yeah, both different
So
products.
once we do change orders, that low bidder might turn into the high
But
bidder.
that's their unit price, there is no, it's set at zero because we don't need one.
No, I'm saying,
She
but
has a couch.
they gave us the prices though, so everything's
Correct.
not.
The answer, I think
The
the
one
answer
we
is,
In case when I sat with Lisa, she said, oh, we're not gonna use the couch we have, plug one in there, I would plug the number one in
Right.
there, and that would add.
But the
to
one
all
right
the
above
line.
it, for instance, there's 6 at $820 from one place, and then 6 for $1427 at WB Mason. So even though they're all
That's what he
state,
wants to provide.
right, even though, is he giving us a better product? Or is he just charging us more for the same thing?
It's a different chair.
So it's,
Well, it's
So
just
we're
like
not-
that chair, there. If they say that's a, John Wayne chair or something like that, and this is a better model.
right, so
then they-
we're not bidding apples to apples.
But
No.
I still think if you go with the low bidder, I think that,
but I think what Chris was saying, if we did add 10 items, and we've already,
WB Mason
we
could
would
be
have
the
selected a bidder at that point, and we would have had the items in. If we did add 10 items, it could very well be that had we had those 10 items in there, the low bidder would have changed. But I think we have to make the decision on what we think we're gonna have.
And I think your thing was.
I don't think you're gonna be changing quantities of what's on this sheet.
We might add a table or something.
You may say, I don't like this upholstered chair, I like that plastic chair instead, which is gonna change a $225 chair to, $50 or
No,
whatever this.
the thing is, but that time they can put a higher price, right?
No, because they're all state contract price.
They're all the same price.
I understand that, but I understand that that's what everybody's the same price, but they're giving a
Well,
different
they're not-
quality item,
Yeah, they're not the same price.
but pretty close.
They have to keep their price as to what's on state contract, so you
So-
sit here with this book and you say, geez, I like this stack chair versus that stack chair, well, this is wood and plastic, this is more like what you have here. This is $100, or do you want the $200?
Why
don't
don't-
know.
But
why
it
don't
says-
we
but
make
it
a
says-
decision now?
Club chairs upholstered, wood, leg, rounded.
Yep.
One's 820, one's 1400. What's different than a club chair upholstered, wood, leg, rounded for $1,400?
$600 price.
Different fabric?
Besides, I don't know,
Different
that's what I'm
stuffing in
saying. So
Different-
we're not
different
we're not bidding apples to apples.
Tony, I take it.
Well, you're
no
not
one's
gonna
previewed
bid
this.
apples to apples with furniture, never. It just doesn't, it's
So, I mean,
not gonna
I
work
don't know
that
how we can even vote to say we'll go
Well,
with the
because we
low.
have to pick a vendor, and based on what the vendor is recommending, that Office Resources is recommending a suite of stuff that totals 82.8, assuming that all these estimates were accurate, and that were accurate numbers, versus Creative Office is 85.9.
Right.
Yeah, but there could be a cheap chair.
Right, but if we told WB Mason, we're going with all the lower quality chairs,
They can
he
give
may
it
be the
cheaper.
lowest price.
Yeah, but we're not going to, that would be changing your scope to get a lower price, and that's not what we're doing. If I said to you and Ray and Pat, give me a sled base, that's what this is, with a plastic seat and a plastic back, okay? I don't know if yours costs $228 and his costs $105 and his costs $115. I don't care. I told you all, it's this. You then sent me something that said, here's my chair. My chair that I have that meets that doesn't have a sled base. It's got 4 legs and a wooden seat and a fabric back. Okay, right now I'm just plugging in your $288 or whatever it is, because that's what you told me to plug in for that line item, and this is where your number fell. So if you're high and he's low, I'm gonna go work with him. I'm gonna finalize, I want black, I want gray, I want glides, I want this and that, because he's the apparent low bidder, and that's where I'm gonna start my work with. At the end of the day, if I get to a number that he's saying, I can't provide all that, and it's gonna be significantly more than yours, I'm gonna cut ties and say, you know what, I'll go to the next guy, because you're not meeting what I want.
Can you see the chairs beforehand?
Sure, if you wanna go into the showroom.
It would seem to me, since these are gonna be around for a long time, someone should actually see what it is we're buying. I mean, I understand that what they're providing will fit the category of what you described, but, steel case versus staples.
That will clearly
So can I
rule
ask-
out
Big
all the
difference.
doubts.
We're making, you said the showroom, right? If you want to go into the showroom. So we're making aesthetic choices, right, without seeing the item. Is that correct?
At this point, you're picking a vendor. If you were to choose the vendor, the apparent low bidder of Creative Office Pavilion, the next step is to have this vendor come out to the site, meet with Lisa, meet with John, the color board, and say, okay, that chair that I spec'd is available in these finishes. Do you want chrome? Do you want powder coat blue? Do you want gray? Do you want dark gray? Do you want blue plastic? All of that happens at the next phase provided we stay, we're not going any custom colors, we didn't tell them to provide any custom color pricing. Give us the standard stock finish for these items.
But these are all photographs now. They're not going to be the actual 3D actual item in front of you.
No, but when their designer comes out to meet with everybody on site, they will bring the chain of samples, like laminate samples, and be able to sit there and work through
But
and
not
say,
the actual design.
not the actual pieces of furniture. For that, you would have to go into Boston.
And do we plan to go into Boston?
We didn't with the police station, we could
We did
certainly
or did
do it.
not?
We did not.
We went with the,
Well,
we went with the
I shouldn't say
highest,
that.
the most expensive company too.
It was WB Mason, we did go into Worcester
Right.
to their showroom and played with samples and colors there. They
I don't
didn't
see
have
how-
every product
I don't
there,
see how you can make aesthetic choices without seeing the item.
okay?
But don't we have to go with the lowest bid?
When we're bidding apples to apples, but we're not.
After you go after the lowest bid, right, then you're gonna make aesthetic choices.
But then he may not be the lowest bid anymore.
No, because his
No,
price isn't
you
gonna
make
go up based
You
on.
make aesthetic choices within the lowest bids.
Right.
So I guess, so I'm just looking at chairs, fabric seat, mesh back, casters, arms. 224 to 577. That's huge. It's $6,900 compared to 2,600.
Which one?
There's 12 of them. It's on page 1, about halfway down. I'm just using that for an example, so, I mean, is he giving a better quality chair? Is he giving a better fabric? And if he is that what we really want? Do we want to spend the $577 because it's the better chair?
Again, you're making decisions about quality without actually seeing the item, without being
That's what
able to
I was
touch
saying.
it.
But
I
I
wouldn't
think-
buy a car, for example, without being able to drive it and touch it.
So can I make a suggestion, Lisa, would you be willing to go to Boston and look at this stuff? Then that's all, be easy for everybody?
All three vendors or one?
Huh?
All three? or-
Yeah, that's gonna be you can't.
We have three vendors.
You have to go by
The lowest
the
bid?
lowest bid, then to go see the item.
I guess, I mean, we can vote any way you want, but
The design-
they're not the lowest bidder because-
He's already worked with, or he knows all of them, so I think he would have experience into who has better quality and.
Well, we're assuming, I think Tony said all of these guys have quality furniture. So, but that price is not just higher because it's the same thing, it's higher because it's a better chair. I'm sorry.
It's not necessarily,
It
that's
depends
not,
on what
that's
you
not
say is
true.
better.
I don't know.
That's
So,
not true.
look, that's the description that I gave all the vendors.
Okay, yeah.
So I told you, I want chair, fabric seat, the mesh back, breathable back, casters and arms,
Okay.
okay? And that's in the billiard game room. So those are the game tables, game chairs, right? Vendor sends me this as the game room chair. It is fabric seat, fabric back, 4 legs with wood, and it's $577. Your option is reject them and say you didn't bid anything that I asked you to, and throw it in the trash, or carry his number.
Because that's not what you bid on.
But he
'Cause I
didn't,
asked
he didn't
you-
bid, we asked him each to come and tell us what he thinks we need.
No, I gave everybody a plan, and I gave them a description of what that chair is. If you don't listen, and you give me a price for $166,000, I should throw your whole proposal in the trash, but I didn't.
So WB Mason
Blew it,
gave us a price and a chair that we did not ask for.
Correct.
right, which is why
So
Tony.
I didn't
Their bid's not even a bid. It's not in the bid.
arbitrarily
They have to
lower
bid.
him to something else. I just said, fine, that's what he wants in the game room. If the numbers all work out and he's low, and you want that chair, great. If not, we'll replace it later. At this point, he's not low, even when I peel out all the stuff that I didn't ask for. And the others,
But the flip side to one of the other ones, WBA says 4,300, and the guy we're going with is
here's your
6,200.
chair.
Which one's that?
The same description from
That's a-
Creative Office
That's a fabric,
pavilion.
that's a fabric back with a
Fabric.
mesh, I mean, a mesh back.
4 legs, casters, 2 arms, okay?
Are they both, are Office Resources and Creative Office Pavilion both in the design building in Boston?
No, Creative Office is actually behind Via in Worcester.
Oh, okay.
So they have a small showroom there, which they would have, they have all their fabric samples. They're not gonna have all of these pieces of
But some, so
furniture
you'll get
there.
a sense of quality.
Right.
And then, so that would be an easy one to go to. And then if you also would be willing to go into the design building in Boston to see Creative Office Pavilion and get a look at what they have, because they're the 2 lower ones, or so it appears. Then you
But
get a better
they're pretty
sense of.
close, those two. Yeah, now it's just,
But, so you get a better sense of quality, and then you'd have a comfort level to choose who you feel is the responsive low bidder.
So
Where
we-
is this WB Mason is?
Worcester.
Worcester.
We can always,
But I think we should just, in this case, WB Mason
They're up by
shouldn't.
$25,000.
Why would you?
No, but if you
That's
don't
after
know
it's-
what
that's
they are-
after it's been
don't know
reduced.
what they are giving, what
Then-
quality, you know?
No, they're
But-
giving,
Well-
We're not going by the
We
quality.
can't go by quality, we gave everybody a spec sheet. And just like,
By the
you know,
bid.
when when people bid on the building itself, one guy's bid may have been more because what he spec'd out for his subcontractors was flooring that was $5 a square foot, met the price and the specs. You could get a
$3.
floor for $2.50 a square foot, just because this guy chose to go with a higher quality. The other one still meets the spec, you gotta go with the lowest bidder. That's the way procurement works.
It's a good analogy.
But it's also a question of how well specified it is. If-
yeah,
if within,
that's how bidding is.
You know, 4 legs, you have a chair, I mean, it can be whatever, it's a question of how.
You gotta put your
well
hands on
designed
it.
is.
Yeah.
So let me make an alternate suggestion. Tony's assumptions aside, it's not likely that Office Resources would not be the low bidder based on what's here. So if Lisa were to go to Office Resources and look at that furniture and decide, yes, it's something I can live with, I think it's appropriate, do we really need to do
All right.
more?
No, I agree 100% with that.
As long as,
Simpler, it's easier?
as long as we get actual numbers in these things that we don't, that we had that are gray, and
I think that's a big thing, getting actual numbers, because especially that one, 2,800 compared to 1,300. You said you just kind of forgot what the reason why you did that was, but, you know, that's 1,500. It's only one, I know it's 1,500, but they might both be.
So Tony's gonna take that list and get actual numbers from all 3 again?
No, I thought we were just gonna go to
Just one.
office resource.
no, I know, we have to get actual,
Final numbers, yeah.
we have to get actual numbers from Creative Office and Office Resource, because
Do
once we
want
get the,
WB Mason to bid on what we asked
So
them?
we were just,
Say they're out of the running.
because they chose to bid on something
They
different.
chose the product they wanted to put into that slot, and they made their bed. Again, for simplicity, is the lower bidder furniture something we would deem acceptable? That's the only thing that is there for me.
And I think that was Pat's original motion, to go with the lowest bid as long as the quality, the quality's there and it's acceptable to us, to Lisa.
well, do we have, are we allowed, if, you know, we bid this out, if we decide, Lisa goes in and says, Creative Office is better, and it's $1,500 more, are we allowed to go with Creative Office legally? Because,
If you determine
Yes.
that, if you determine that Office Resources is non-responsive because they're not able to provide you the units that you're looking for, then you can say, yes, we're tossing them out of consideration, and we're gonna go with Creative Office Pavilion.
but not able to provide the units we're looking for, as in, they provided us a coffee table square wood leg for $572.60, and we say, we don't like that, that's not the unit we want, and
You
now,
can say that's not acceptable quality. We're not willing to accept that.
and then can they then turn around and say, okay, well, we have these 15 other tables,
Yep, they could, but, you know, but if they're giving you their best shot at what they have in that mid-range furniture. And it's, you know, their next best option would probably be something that's in that next higher range, which would not be acceptable. It would totally skew their pricing. So if they're offering you what they have for their mid-range items, which is, I believe, what you've been asking for, Tony, right? Then if you don't like what they're offering in the bid, then you can determine that their product is not acceptable, and you can choose not to use their bid.
And we don't have to go back to them and say, this product is not, we can just give it, I'm concerned about them coming back and saying, we were the low bidder, we didn't get the,
You can ask if they have another alternate that's within a reasonable range, but what I'm saying is it's highly likely that they don't, because I've been through this before.
Okay.
And they don't have a lot of choices within the certain ranges.
Especially if they're answering the bid, they want the job. They maybe had a mixture, so if they've been doing these things, they're not gonna send you stuff that's not gonna
I
last.
agree about that.
So I would think with their reputation, Tony's worked with them, all of these people are sending you decent furniture. They know the purpose of it.
Well, they're, as Anita said, they're mid-grade furniture. So
Right.
when we talk furniture, we talk good, better, best. Nobody's gonna price the good stuff, because it's not all that good, quite frankly. Better is the mid-range, and most communities aren't gonna pay for best, right?
Right.
So this is where we fall. Now, in any one of these packages, we settle in on a vendor, and this is what we did with the police station, so it's not undifferent than what we did there. There are areas where there may be a piece of furniture where you want to upgrade to the best, and others where you say good is good enough, but you work with a single vendor at that point to pick your laminates, and you know that I'm not asking for a premium laminate. I'm not going to go and tell vendor A, hey, now that you're low, instead of laminate, give me Corian tops and solid surfaces, and this thing is going to be completely different than what the other two vendors priced, right? They've all got photos, they've all got descriptions, it's laminate, it's all kind of the same stuff.
Well, I go back to what Phil says, so maybe WB Mason's saying, you're crazy to get that $200 chair where that's going. You should get the $450 chair.
Maybe that's
'Cause
not
it's-
his choice.
But we were just saying, we want the best, we want something that's gonna last. You said so we go with the low bidder, and then we say, we look at the chair and we go, we agree, those chairs aren't gonna make it. Now we're gonna go with the better chair with you. And now
And the pricing
WB
will
Mason
not-
may be the cheapest one.
Okay, but that is what Lisa and I and Janice did the other day. There's nothing in this furniture package other than, yes, one of the vendors had more square-lined
Yeah,
furniture,
but
more
you did not
contemporary.
see the furniture in person, right? In the picture?
No,
Alright, so are we ordering this, are we ordering this before the next meeting?
doesn't sound it.
No. Well, if we did what Pat said, go with the low bidder, look at the furniture, and then, so would you order it?
Then, yeah.
I would say go to these
I would
places-
call the vendor, I would call a vendor and schedule an appointment for Lisa and I to go there and kick the tires and, get as much of this stuff that you've priced in your showroom. We're coming to see it. They will still need to come out with at that point, I'd probably bring the color board that John McMillan had put together for the building with all the paints and the finishes. Probably easier for me to bring that in there, and then they can play color swatch. This table comes in 5 standard
That doesn't
colors
change the
no
price
up-
you said.
Right, they'll say, this comes in 5 colors
At that
no
price.
upcharge,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Oh, you want the Corian, that's more.
right.
You want quartz, that's 10 more.
All the furniture we're getting too is nothing really unique or different about it, so all of the vendors are gonna have 2, 3, 4, different types of the same furniture, and it's gonna be well covered.
So I think Pat made a motion, someone seconded, and I think this is the right idea. Let them go out and look at take the low bid, and if everybody's satisfied, at least and Tony's satisfied with the quality of the furniture, then at least we can get started on it and get it ordered.
Yeah, I'd want to append that proviso to what Pat had removed, the inspection of the quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I personally can't vote, that we don't have near enough detail, but that's fine, we can bring it to vote.
And I just want to reiterate what Tony said about the procedure. You call them, you say, get everything in your showroom that you have that we can look at, that it's gonna be part of the project, and we'll come down and kick those tires.
Yeah.
I'll amend my motion to add the, assuming the quality is acceptable.
But, okay, with that said, we're only comparing the quality to the guy we're going to look at. What are we
Correct.
comparing it to?
We're gonna get the
So
parent.
we think it's the quality's good, but the guy that might be $50 cheaper might have the best quality chair.
But we asked them to give us their mid-range line.
Right.
Apples to apples, ask, and in public procurement, they're the low bidder.
I don't.
The thing is, we have one in Worcester, one in Boston, so at least, can they
We're gonna,
compare those two?
I'm gonna go look at them.
No,
Go to.
the
No,
bid,
there's
the
only one.
motion was to go
Just one.
with the low bidder and go
Lowest
sit and
bidder.
talk
Yeah.
with them.
He's gonna, yeah. He's gonna go to Boston and look at them before they
No, I'm
purchase.
talking about the one in Worcester,
No
too.
comparison.
Comparison.
Just go with the low bidder and go see what they have. That was the motion. And
That
let's- Yeah, that's the
And
And
what?
that's
Yeah.
it, go into that one.
We can make this as complicated as we want, but I mean, it was
Or
pretty
you can
much a
make it as
standard
simple
bid.
as you want.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so we had a motion, we had a second. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I did have one observation, and I'm sure this has already been talked about. The single largest line item, the 150 chairs for the great room, on casters, that's what it says.
In the great room, no, there's not casters in the great room.
Well,
That's
they
what
all
it says.
bid casters.
I just can't imagine a sea of 150 chairs rolling around the
No,
room.
yeah, we.
I mean, I thought that price seemed $224 for just chairs for that room. If they're casters, I mean,
we didn't
they're all
want
gonna be
casters.
rolling around.
I don't think you'd want to have casters with
No.
the seniors.
But that's
Oh,
why I'm
sorry,
asking.
On glides. They're on glides.
So
not
did they bid
glides.
casters?
We changed the,
Did these guys bid casters?
casters.
Nice pickup, Chris.
That's 10 grand worth of differential if they didn't bid casters or not casters.
Dining room chairs, no, one is on slides like these, sled base.
Casters are only supposed to be for the classroom and the games room.
It's under the classroom. It says 18. And arts and crafts, Lisa, because it's listed there too.
No,
Arts and crafts are on glides.
crafts should be, because it's a UCT tile, it should only be on gliders, no casters.
As Office Resources has the same price for the glides and the casters, interestingly enough. Find that hard to believe.
No, they don't.
Yeah, 228 under arts and crafts.
224 and 343.
No, under arts and crafts, there's one on glides with arms, chrome finish, 228, and one with casters, 228, under great room.
Right, because I used their same pricing.
No, you didn't highlight that one.
Oh, yeah, so you got 12 chairs, fabric seat, mesh back, casters, arms, 12, and office resources, you got 224.80. Chairs, fabric seat, mesh back, you're saying it's glides, but the price is 224.80 as well. Yeah,
228, right, for that, 228 for casters.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing, I'm looking at 224,
So Creative Office Pavilion has,
I'm looking at that one, and then the casters.
in the dining multi-purpose, they have theirs on casters. Nesting casters. and
Who has
that's
that?
Creative Office Pavilion.
And Office Resources are on rolls. Castles.
Office Resources is dining is on the sled base, which is what these are. Similar to this is called a sled base.
In the great room.
In the great room, dining room, yep.
Only this page.
So this says casters.
150. Oh, okay, this is under this.
So, this last line item, are we looking at different things? One of them big casters, one of them big glides?
Sounds like.
Separate rooms.
No, but
No, same room.
Oh, okay.
Great room, casters. That was my copying the description from one item to the next.
But is all three bids on the 150 chairs, are they all bid for glides?
No.
They're not. So we have to update those before we can really make a decision.
One bidder carried casters, one carried sled.
But what did we ask for?
We asked for, I believe, sled.
And they just didn't give us the,
Correct.
Casters do seem odd in that room.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you-
Right, that's all right.
That's
I mean, sitting around a table on casters?
No, it's gotta be just, that stackable, probably stackable chairs that you can, does that also come with to move 20 of them at a time? Yeah.
Well, some of them nest, which they just stack one on top of the other, and then on a dolly.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not like a two-wheel, they have their own dolly.
right.
You know what I
right,
mean?
Yeah,
And those tables fold and stack as well.
yeah, that would I would think, yeah.
All right, so,
There's no vote yet.
is there any other discussion?
I think, at least they should look at two companies and then make a decision. That's my view.
Okay, so whatever the motion is, we can, I think
any
there's a lot,
discussion?
Way too much confusion.
whatever.
At least
Anybody
two
else?
companies, so that we'll know.
All right, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No,
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 It's 4-3.
Yep. Okay, next item.
and I think,
I'm sorry, what are we doing?
yeah, I'm not sure what the vote was, but this is way too confusing to vote on this tonight.
You're gonna go look at
Pat's,
the furniture.
yeah, Pat's motion,
January
right?
9th.
Yep, I'll send it out tomorrow just to make sure I've
Okay.
got the language correct.
Well, before we do that, what was the vote, so everybody knows what we voted on?
What I had said was that once we get these numbers updated from the estimates to the actual numbers,
From all three companies?
yeah, well, WB Mason only has one estimate, so theirs isn't gonna change, it's really just these other two. That whichever one is the apparent low bidder, we authorize John to work with the vendor, assuming that John and Lisa believe the quality is acceptable on what they're proposing, we award them the contract.
Everybody understand? All right, before we do, let's do, the status of the pump house.
Status of the pump house is the work is being scheduled for next week
For the floor?
under protest. So it will be documented and tracked time and material for the work of filling in the floor, providing an insulated skirt around the skid that the equipment sits on, and running the drain to the outside of the building. All of those documents have been transferred to the town's council, Copeland and Page. I have not heard back any way, in any direction from Copeland and Page, so we're just proceeding with the work under protest.
Are they gonna global fill, what are they gonna use it?
That I don't know, we haven't seen a submittal yet.
Okay.
What are we talking about for a cost differential?
We're estimating $30,000, and we're withholding that from their payment.
It's pretty involved.
It's significant.
I don't even know how they're gonna do
And
it.
so we hold that money out of their pay rec on your behalf until the work is done, and council says we should or shouldn't pay for it.
All right. Technology discussion, Lisa, you want something? This for the hearing?
No, I think this is
Technology
for the
would be
computers. The
Oh, computers, I'm sorry.
The desktops for the classroom installed, I guess,
Right, there's a letter in here from the COA.
Correct. And the letter says that they request not to have desktop work, they would rather have laptops. That was a request from the Council on Aging. We had, if everybody remembers last time, we discussed maybe having two workstations. That was two, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
But apparently, they don't want.
Well, I mean, I disagree, but, I mean, I think I think we should have them. but, I mean, I guess we'd have to change some counters because they're already set up as, they would have to be lowered to be desktops now. But it could happen where it's a built-in, I'm told, but it would have to be a little bit of a change on it.
But it's
Does it
something,
have to be lowered?
Because they're high now,
Doesn't need
they're counted,
ADA,
they're
And
counted.
there's no room to sit under it. It's cabinets down below.
But if they're gonna use laptops there, what's the difference?
They're not gonna use
They're not gonna be,
laptops.
laptops are just
Oh,
gonna
it'd
be
be at a
walking
different
around.
location.
Yeah.
but isn't it something, didn't we say we could do it after?
Well, we would have, I'm told we would have some extra cabinets we could use somewhere else in the building.
If you didn't put the cabinets under the counter, but then the counter is not ADA
So
accessible
we'd have to be
height,
lowered.
because it wasn't meant for somebody to sit at.
So if they're gonna have laptops and they're walking around and I'm sitting at a desk, it's not ADA,
No, it's not gonna be at
Is
this,
that-
Well,
where
it's
this is not gonna be where the permanent ones would go. This is gonna be a different area, it's not gonna be for someone to sit at. They're gonna sit at a table with those laptops.
Who will keep track of the laptops?
The
Lisa's
director.
gonna have to.
So, I guess my question is, going back is, I thought we were gonna do this after the building was done, to do the, if we were gonna do a,
If we're gonna put built-ins after the building's done, this section where we're gonna put them will all be built, we'll be ripping it out.
oh, okay.
So we would wanna do that before.
Okay.
Move the cabinets that we already purchased out, use them somewhere else in the building, and then lower the counter. Now,
And how much of a change order is that?
$3,000, $5,000, somewhere in that range.
and that'd be just to lower the counter.
No work is in shop already, right, Tony?
Right.
So it'd be to lower the,
Yeah, you'd have to lower blocking, put some kind of, because right now the counter doesn't have any bracing, it sits on the cabinets.
correct.
If you don't put those cabinets in, you need blocking in the walls and you need some kind of bracing ledge to hold the counter up.
Lisa-
You have to have leg room to have desktop. People are gonna sit there, they have to have leg room, so all the.
We'll have legroom underneath there.
If you don't put the cabinets in.
Yeah, if you don't put the cabinets in, we'll have legroom. It'll be,
So then you would take those cabinets,
use them somewhere else.
but they're not gonna have a top,
Right.
so wherever you put those, you now have to buy an extra top for it.
Can I ask what the reasoning was, why they didn't want, why they wanted
board?
the laptops?
Yeah,
Tops?
Because they feel like people are not gonna be coming in and sitting at a desktop. Just feel like that's not gonna happen.
Then why do they need a laptop? If they are not using a desktop, they may not need a laptop too, right?
Laptop, people are using more laptops than anything else. You know, plus your laptop you can just kind of take around with you. And if the tech guy.
Yeah, but
comes
if they
in,
drop it,
What?
If the tech- if the tech guy comes in to show somebody something, you can show it on a laptop or an iPad or a cell phone that they're bringing.
So I don't understand why, if they want, we wanna do this after, we can't buy some of those, like, Veridesk or something like that, and use two of those.
Well, you can buy 18-inch wide desks of
Or
this
something like
style.
What-
And
what-
I would also make a note, you know, I don't know if we're all thinking the same thing, desktop computer about yay big, yay deep. The new ones now are about a 4-inch square, about 1.5 inches high. So it takes no space. And in fact, a lot of the monitors that are coming out have a slot in the top of the monitor to stick the computer into. So it takes the space of the monitor. That's the only space.
That's what, I can't see spending money to do a change order on this thing, but we can, down the road, if we really wanted to put a, desk thing in there, we could.
Well,
just
we're not
buy-
gonna, I don't think, the room is designed already. I don't think later we're gonna bring some desks in and then put computers on them. I thought we wanted to put something in there, permanent, built-in, not just adding a desk in the room, because that will just make the room smaller, you know, because there'll be 2 desks in the
Right.
back corner.
Just,
I thought we were gonna use a built-in and then put
Right.
some desktops.
but if they already wanted the design for the project, for the
This
room.
isn't a room that you were planning on putting desks in. This is a multi-purpose room. She's gonna be doing yoga and other stuff in there. All the tables right now stack and nest and push off to the side. So, no, I don't see you putting a desk in the corner.
Yeah, it would be to use that built-in area and put it there. Or put a desktop somewhere else in the building, in the lobby, so anybody that comes in can
Well, that's
come
what I
in.
mean, can't they just put it somewhere else?
But if somebody goes in there and sits at one of the tables with a laptop, isn't that solving the same issue?
Like that.
Couple of points. One,
No, I don't think so.
I wonder why the reason that nobody would use them was not included in the letter. And two, I think we ought to give the COA what they want. If it turns out they need computers later, a desktop computer later, they can figure it out.
I agree with that. I think if they wanted to put a desktop, they can put it somewhere. Somewhere in the building is all the square footage. They can certainly find some place to put it. It's wireless now. It's not, doesn't have to be hardwired. I don't believe,
Right.
was it, Rick? They're all
Well, it doesn't
wireless
have to
now,
be
aren't they?
hard,
Most of them
Well,
are wireless.
Yeah.
Just have
As long as you have
Wi-Fi,
the
that's all you
bandwidth.
need.
Yeah, I mean, this letter from the Council on Aging just says, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I disagree as well, but, you know, forcing something on the buyer in this case probably doesn't make a lot of sense.
well, this is the town's building, not
Right.
5 people in the Council on Aging.
All right, so do we need to take a vote on this? Or do we
I
need?
think you should, that way everyone will have clear direction.
So I move that we acquiesce to the Council on Aging letter and will not include desktop computers in the budget, the construction budget.
I'll second.
Should we append that we don't necessarily agree with that position?
No, I don't think so. It's
The
up
vote
to you,
will
Ray,
prove
you
that.
can if you want.
The vote will,
We'll do that.
do that. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
I think, for me, I feel like desktops are good, but I don't care if they want a laptop.
Anything else?
Something permanent, laptop, somebody can take it, somebody can drop it.
Yeah, laptops and tablets have a tendency to walk.
Yeah, walk and also get out with the forget,
But
they
that's,
forget.
All right.
they'll have to take care of that in their operating budget if they lose them, so.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
again,
what
that's
if-
a town budget too.
Yeah, that's the townspeople.
Yeah,
That's,
town money.
that's the townspeople. I mean, their budget is out of our pockets.
Yeah.
So,
I pay taxes too.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
no.
That was 3 to 4, 4 being the no's.
Yeah. So, now what? We still,
The nose carried.
and those carry, yeah. Yeah, right, but,
Design,
Laptop computers will break.
designs, I would say that
Laptops
tells,
are serious,
let's figure out a place where we can put a couple desktops.
but do you think we have to change the design of? in that
Maybe
room?
that's not the best place for them. Maybe out in the lobby as people walk in.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's gotta be,
No,
No.
no, you don't want to look at a computer when you walk into a lobby.
but I think there's gotta be some place in that building where you can put 2 desktops. There has to be.
Then I would suggest that you're gonna have to relook at the millwork in that room, change the countertop, put the legroom in, and do it there.
You have to drop down the height of the cabinet, so all the cabinets
And
have to
open
be
up the
changed
cabinets
out.
So people have legroom.
I don't
They
agree.
Actually sit there. You're
I
gonna
wouldn't
have
wanna
to-
do that.
You're gonna have to look at that.
That's $3,000 to $5,000.
I would
much?
not, I would not be in favor of that.
Is there another room that we could put them in without all that work?
No,
Is no other room?
no other room that has a countertop and a legroom.
Or
Why does
space
it-
for a desk.
Why does it have that?
Other, maybe the wellness room. The wellness room, possibly, yeah.
And what,
But the games room, no, you don't have any counters at all. The arts and crafts, it's a built-in wall, storage and stuff, so,
The wellness room doesn't have a computer in it?
yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
the wellness room is gonna be used,
Okay.
it's gonna be open to the public to go in all,
The clinicians, the podiatrists, the nurses, that kind of.
but it's gonna be, it's not gonna be open to the public, is it? Okay, so why would you put desktops in there?
That's the only place I can think
Oh.
of right now that has an open area that you can actually,
Yeah, but that would be foolish to put them in a room that's gonna be locked only when those people are there.
I think it's something we need to go walk through and figure out a place for it, but I would not be in favor of spending, redesigning the,
Well, I think anywhere we put them, we're gonna spend money.
well, instead of, as opposed to just buying 2 desks, 2 workstations?
I don't know the answer to that. I think anywhere we're gonna spend some money. Because I know you and I and Pat buy a workstation, we know what it costs, but when we do it, it's gonna be 3,000 to 5,000. We can't sneeze without spending 3,000
No,
to
but
5,000.
why can't we do it after this building is done? Why do we have to do it as part of this project?
Then, because
How do you get
the
the
board just voted to buy desktops, what are we just gonna buy them and throw them in a box? And not ever use them until we decide where to put them? I don't know why in the
So
lobby area as you come in, to have a desktop, people can be talking and searching the internet, but if, I don't know.
Can I suggest that the subcommittee that meets weekly, take a look, walk around and see, come back next meeting with, hey, this is what we looked at and maybe a viable option besides changing a fixed structure?
I agree, I would not be in favor of changing the structure, but,
I gotta believe in a 10,000 square foot building that there's gotta be enough room to put a desk,
2 desks.
2 desks and computers somewhere in the building. There has to be.
Really,
It should
I
be,
kind of agree.
it should be.
There isn't, because it's just gonna take place, it's gonna fill us, and I agree. You look at the building, you look at the room, I
You wanna
mean,
come on
to just
Friday?
throw some freestanding desks.
I just made a suggestion, the subcommittee that is heavily involved in this does it.
All right,
I would suggest, no, I'm not.
all right, so,
John,
Not my place.
I know, you don't want to hear this, but one other question. Ray brought up a point that I'm interested in. The health room is like for nurses or anybody using that, that's not going to have any kind of records and a computer to, if they want to go back and see any kind of history, that's not going to have a computer?
No,
well, the doctor
that's
would bring their own.
HIPAA, you can't take, and you can't keep anything there that somebody else is doing. The nurse that takes the blood pressure, she writes down the names, she takes it off with her podiatrist that comes, he takes down the names, he takes it off.
He takes it off-site,
Yes.
okay.
I was thinking more
Don't
from the
keep anything
standpoint
on
of,
file.
Like, I would think they'd walk in with their own laptop.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I was just assuming that, they come into the clinic and question comes up, I've got
Wanna
scabies,
Google.
whatever.
So Tom-
Google scabies and. here's
Tom
some
Mullins
information.
promised
Yes.
to the town meeting, right, that maybe someday we will have long-distance healthcare and they'll be able to plug into patients' records, right? That's bogus.
No,
No,
I think,
no,
I think if in 20 years that's what happens, then whatever we have in that building today everybody's gonna say, why do you have, those are old fashioned.
No, I think what he was.
If that ever happens.
Telemedical.
Telemedical, right,
Yeah.
having a doctor, well, I mean, they're
But-
doing that now.
But all the doctors, when you go into, for physical, they bring their own laptop in. They don't, there's not one in the office.
That's not true. At Reliant,
My doctor is, yeah. You
not
go in
true
there.
at Reliant, they have a computer right there.
Okay.
Yeah, but this isn't a doctor's office, these people will come in, yeah, I agree with that.
All right. So we're gonna walk
Subcommittee
through
will look at this.
and
Right.
come back to the next meeting and decide on this. Correct?
See you tomorrow morning.
Is everybody okay
You know who
with
the subcommittee is, right, Raj?
I don't
You
know,
guys are gonna figure this out tomorrow
Well,
morning.
it's me and John, but I don't know, Raj took over.
yeah.
that?
All right, so if you're coming to a lot of the meetings.
Yeah, I was the only one there last week, no one showed.
Pat will come.
All right. That's it from Tony. Thank you.
I don't know,
Anything else?
the police station,
I
I
do
don't
have
think
one
there's
other
any.
thing. We talked about the assisted listening system,
Oh, yeah, okay.
and I've currently got 2 prices, one for, and this isn't just the listening system. The listening systems, were both right around the $9,653 price range, which is what we expected, but I have 2 prices, I'm waiting for a third, and I'm still clarifying the pricing, apples to apples, as we were discussing. Right now I've got, and this includes speaker system, amplifier system for the great room, the overhead projector in the multipurpose training room, ceiling speakers, amplifiers, switches, volume controls, jacks, wireless lapel clip microphone, a handheld microphone that could either be passed around or used in a podium. So all of the AV stuff that we've identified in the plans, I've got one price right now of $33,086. And the lower price of $27,535.
And this is required by law.
That
Wait,
is- no,
not all
that-
of it.
That is without the $10,000 loop system, or $9,000
Wow.
loop.
Wait a
So
minute.
that is just the AV equipment that was originally planned for the building.
Is it budgeted already?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's
The
already
loop
budgeted.
system was not.
That's the
We
10,000.
just started talking about
That's the
that last
10,000.
week. That right now, I've got one price at 96 and the other at 94, but they both want to come out again. Love to have you there, you mentioned
Yeah,
being,
just let me know when it's
they're
gonna be.
concerned about the amount of metal in the building is going to distort their antenna system. So they come out with something and they're going to take measured readings to make sure there's not enough metal stud work and everything in the building that would interfere with their amplification, or else they're going to have to increase their amplifiers.
And price.
And
So this is the one that will hook right up to the person that has the,
well, that's what they both said, walking around. But then in the clarification of one, it said, as long as everyone realizes that people that do not have
oh, correct.
telecoil hearing aids
Yes.
will still need to use the around-the-neck units.
Are those coming with the price? Do they have those? Do they give us a couple
Yes,
of those?
They would put those in with the price.
Okay.
I don't know
But
what
in
telecoil
walking
is.
around, both of them at the time when they were walking around said, oh, we put the in-loop system in, everybody walks in and they just connect to it, and it's great. We
You
heard
have to-
last week that Pat said, may not
It
necessarily.
has to be
Yeah,
one,
that doesn't sound right.
it has to be one of 3 or 4 different type of hearing aids, right?
Well, this vendor from Parsons Audio is saying anybody other than if you don't have telecoil, which I don't know whether that's a manufacturer, a brand.
No, it's a type. These are telecoil looking, but when I look it up.
How about the person that just has bad hearing but doesn't have a hearing aid? He can use the around the neck one.
No.
No,
Why, the around the neck one?
neck still needs to connect to your,
Oh, it doesn't have a
It's a
headset with
local
it?
antenna, right?
if you had a Bluetooth in your phone would pick up that signal and connect it to your hearing aid. You walking in the room with no hearing aids, you're not gonna hear anything other than what's coming out of the speakers.
But they have systems
Yeah,
that
they
you
just-
can have, it's like a earphone
Yeah.
that you plug into your ear.
And it just
provides
amplifies it.
Amplified sound.
Okay.
it amplifies, it doesn't.
From your phone, your iPhone, you
No.
mean?
From
Just
a
a-
little system
The
component.
unit that,
right
you open a
hangs
box
over-
and everything's right
hangs over your
there.
ear.
And what do? Change the things every time?
What?
Things you put people there?
Yeah, they have little covers that you just throw out after someone uses it. I just wondered what that around the neck thing was that you said, we're also gonna have those.
So if I have a hearing aid,
Yeah.
You're coming in like Miracle Ear versus the telecoil.
it picks this up, right? Your hearing aid picks up the signal from the.
Not the ones that automatically connect,
No.
other than that.
Other than that, both of these prices in the $27,000 to $30,000 range include the RF system, which is radio frequency, and the lanyard little hang around your neck loop.
So you're gonna have the other
You asked to
third,
get pricing for the in-the-floor system.
you're gonna have the third price in.
What's
for the next
required by
meeting.
law?
Assisted listening.
So none of,
So.
You can have that nice
the
basic system I
RFS,
just described, and that would
the
meet
thing
the
that,
requirements.
so you might
of-
have 2 or 3 of those. If there's 7 people in the room, only 3 of them are gonna be able to use this.
based on the occupancy, both are planning on 4 lanyards.
All right, so we're gonna hear back on next meeting?
Yes,
Final, okay,
and somebody here at the table's gonna help me.
there you go.
I'll help you with the sound booth thing.
All right.
You came up with the whole thing,
But
aren't you?
just to clarify, that first list that you gave us was
Yeah.
all already in the bid, the 20-something, 27,000?
Yes.
That's already, you're just
That
telling
we
us.
have in our AV
Yeah, that's already
budget.
there. The only thing we're talking about is that additional
Right.
9 to 10,000, 15,000, whatever the number's gonna be.
Right, which if we push this out to the January meeting, you're probably gonna miss the boat on it. Because the floor's gonna be going down, and this has to go down
Oh.
before the floor, and we're not gonna hold up the contractor. So in that case, we would just go with the RFS system, which is in the budget, and it meets building code. So,
How much is that?
It's already in there, right?
It's in the
It's in-
$30,000 bids.
It's in the
yeah,
budget.
it's embedded in there.
So if we, what's the negative, what's the credit if we upgrade to the loop versus the
Radio.
radio one?
Well, we'll still need the RF if we go up to the better system. Is that right, Pat?
Right, but the RF, he's saying would come out, that's 3,800 in this one price. And then you'd add back 9, so the delta's 6.5.
Yeah.
I mean, if it truly is, you walk in and you don't have to have the thing hanging around your neck, and it's worth every penny. If it's, you have to have a hearing aid that got this Mac Daddy telecoil thing, and 1 out of every 100
Has it?
has it, then it's not worth the money.
I thought at the Thursday meeting, you said there's 4 hearing aids that work with
That's
this.
what he told me.
4 types of hearing.
4 types, yeah,
types of
4
hearing.
brands or 4 types.
That was,
And I'm sure as time goes on, more will have that.
right, but then when they actually have to sell you the system and they put the disclaimer in the fine print, hey, anybody without this particular brand
Right.
is not gonna hear anything.
Right.
Okay, and I don't know.
They're only gonna hear what they can
Are
hear
there
with their
4
hearing
different
aid.
manufacturers of telecoil? I don't know.
So it sounds like we're better off going with the original plan.
Depends. I think if,
But we have to know, because like I said, they're not gonna hold up doing the floor.
right, but I think if a standard hearing aid, not get a hearing aid for $499 that you see on TV, but you go to the doctor and you get a hearing aid. If the standard hearing aid that people that get them through the doctor if this is a standard feature, if this is like an ashtray used to be in a car, they all had ashtrays,
Then,
then this system would make a lot of sense. If
The
it's,
enhanced system with the extra
yes,
9,000.
if it's only if you spend the extra $1,500 per hearing aid, do they come with this telecoil thing, and 1 out of 100 people do that, then it's not worth the extra money. 'cause
Yeah,
it's not gonna benefit
if it
anyone.
works on 80% of the hearing aids.
Then it would be worth it.
If if it works on 20% of the hearing aids today, then that's what we gotta look at.
What's the best time for you? Mornings, afternoon, late day, early day, midday?
When is this gonna be? Will it be this week, or?
No, I'll email them tomorrow and I'll put you on copy.
Yeah,
I need to
I'm
have
off
a
all
meeting
next
with
week.
you
I'm
mornings,
off.
afternoon.
I'm off all next week, so, I have a hearing aid guy as a client, and I will ask him, hey, I'll ask him that question, how many hearing aids come with this?
So how do we wanna do this?
Can we do another conditional approval for
With-
this?
Can I just say one thing too in regards to that? I did talk to an audiologist. Supposedly, as time goes on, the telecoil is going to become more and more
Right.
common.
Did he say, the audiologist you spoke to, say how many of them come with it?
Not right now, no. She just said that that's one of the technology that the proof that it works better. So it's gonna keep coming. She didn't say, how many have it right now, how many are gonna have it, next year, whatever. She just said it's
Even if the standard, a set of hearing aids lasts about 5 years, even if the standard has just changed and all new hearing aids coming out are gonna have telecoil, but they're not on the market right now, that, to me, that means we should go with this. If it's, but like I said, if it's an upgrade that, I have an audiologist that I can call and ask the same question, but you get detailed answers.
Ted, have you ever been anywhere where you walked in the room and it picked up the?
No.
No, I'm just wondering, I mean,
No, I am,
yeah.
but you know what?
You
I may
to
not
know
have
the room
noticed.
Was equipped with it to know.
I may not have, if I walked in a room,
You wouldn't, You shouldn't notice.
I may have been, and I just didn't notice that my hearing aids picked up the speaker system.
So if you walk into this room and the speakers are off and they're not doing broadcasting, everybody's just eating lunch and talking, this system does nothing for that person. It's only when the sound
It's
system's.
not gonna pick up your voice.
No, it's only when the sound system's on, there's no other type of
You're
amplifier.
speaking into the microphone.
Yep.
Which is connected to the amplifier, sending the signal onto the floor.
Through this floor, and then it's going into Pat's ear.
So, I like Wade's suggestion, can we make the approval conditional upon Pat, you test it and figure out if it's gonna be something that,
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are okay with me making the call, I don't have any problem doing that.
It's a $6,000 delta that we're talking about, right? If it's, the question is, what weight do we place on how many people can use it now versus how many people can use it in the future? That's really where it's.
I mean, and the thing is, the question I'm gonna ask is this becoming the new standard? Here, a set of hearing aids, 3 to 5 years. 5 is the car with 180,000 miles on it. When I got my first hearing aid, that's what I was told. I was like, okay. And so if it's the new standard now, that means in 3 to 5 years, everybody with hearing aids is gonna have this, even if very few people have it right now.
Unless a new technology comes out and this thing in the floor is not even a issue anymore, which is, do you know other senior centers that you've looked at, what they have?
Nobody has this in there.
What do they have to meet that criteria?
So
We-
the-
Just the headphones,
The
maybe?
newest one, Sterling, I don't think they meet the quota for the multi-purpose room, the size of it, but they didn't have to have it.
Oh, that's small.
I could talk to Holyoke, because they're the second newest one, and they are huge. I can ask
Yeah, why don't
them.
we also reach out to a few of these other places and see, they might say, yeah, we got this thing, but it's, no one's using it. It doesn't work for anybody's headset.
so,
Tony, the vendors that you talked to, did they tell you where, maybe
They
around
install-
here, that the system is in? I think one of them said that the Lowell Theater.
Yeah, that would be really helpful, get a couple of
Yeah,
current
can you go
clients
to all
and
the
see what
places
they
that
say.
have it? Try it for us?
You know how you said you were off next
said you
week?
were
Turn
off.
on your PA
Guess where
system,
you're
start
going.
talking.
How about the 25th? Can you hit all these?
But you wouldn't even know that if they're working correctly,
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
right? You shouldn't.
so,
So people may not even know, from what I'm understanding.
And, I mean, as I'm thinking this through,
They don't hear it.
I have hearing aids so I can hear. I don't know that I actually need another amplification on
That's what
top
I'm
of,
wondering.
if I already have the hearing device, why do I need this amplification to amplify a PA system directly into my hearing aids when the ambient
that's a
noise?
great point.
No, and I agree, because I think we're all gonna be sitting next to Pat and say, Pat, what did they just say? Because he's gonna have bionic hearing, when we're only gonna hear the average room. So
Alright.
I don't know, I just learned about this
So-
is such a thing.
Recent installations of the loop system include Symphony Hall, Boston,
Yep.
the State House, Boston, City Hall, Boston, Portland Stage and Theater Company, and the Hebrew Senior Life Facility in Dedham.
Yeah, those aren't very useful.
This is, to me, it seems like it's way above what we need here.
I think the basic
Very
unit,
useful.
the basic
I-
unit is,
I agree.
Now that I just said, it just dawned on me, wait a second, I
Yeah.
have hearing aids already. I don't have an issue hearing
Right.
something on an amplifier anymore because I have hearing aids. I mean, some people have a lot worse hearing loss than I do, and as you age, it gets worse and worse, but
right now, to meet this at the courthouses, somebody comes in and says they have an hearing issue, we give them something around their neck that just amplifies the room, and they put a headset on. Now, we're getting new sound systems in, they might have this thing in it.
Is it a headset or is it plugged into their hearing aid?
No, the one we're talking about is a hearing aid. What we have is just an amplifier they hang around their neck, and it just amplifies what they're hearing into a headset.
And they can either be headsets or they can be
Earpieces.
earbuds.
All right, so something, okay.
and you don't need.
So what about LaSalle Village in Auburndale, Mass? Anybody know where that is?
Yeah, Boston, Auburndale,
That's Cell Village? I
Yeah,
think that's a senior retirement home.
well, they installed the loop system from Shanahan, and they are very pleased.
Seniors.
But it sounds like it's over and above what, like I said, if it doesn't, your hearing aid's working, you shouldn't
Yeah.
need it.
But to build a multi-million-dollar building and to be kicking ourselves, geez, if we had this, it would have been great for the hard of hearing seniors, that's my concern too.
Then in that case, look, can we do a conditional vote about if Pat thinks that it's something that we need? Would that work? No.
I'd say let's go with what we have, and if Pat thinks after some phone calls and talking to a few people that this thing, like you say,
Yeah.
it's only for the people, I know a lot of people that are hard of hearing, and they don't have hearing aids. This is not gonna help them at all in that room.
Right.
Yeah.
I know lots of people that say, what, you know,
The people that, and the people that have hearing aids probably don't need. the
Because they've already
because
have
They already
them.
have the hearing aids.
All right, so how about if we do this? How about if we make the vote using the existing system, and if it's, if come to find out that you do think that we should get it, we'll put it, you want to do like that?
Can't the subcommittee have a conversation about it?
we need, when's this floor going in? I guess that's gonna be the
That's
question.
the-
Yeah,
'cause we
what's
gotta-
that?
Mid-January.
Oh, so we got,
That's why I'm saying. But if
Mid-January,
if
so
we
we-
wait until January 9th for a committee meeting.
we can have a meeting the first
And
week.
the floor's going in
That's
No,
not-
we
weeks
can have a
after.
meeting the first week of the next year.
Yeah.
You know, and if Pat makes some phone calls, Lisa makes some phone calls, Pat talks to some people,
If I say, hey, I think we need to discuss this further, we'll have a meeting at the beginning of January, we can then vote on
changing.
changing to the
Okay.
floor system.
Because from
Otherwise,
what-
we don't need a meeting.
From what he's reading right there, none of, it's all these big,
All
huge
right,
places.
so let's make the vote. We're gonna use the existing system unless Pat says that we need to have another,
So moved.
discussion about it.
Second.
So just a question for you, Tony. How long does this company need to lay down the antenna on the floor?
They need to do it the same day as the floor installers are putting
Okay,
the
so you
floor
have,
down.
you have to
So I need to
coordinate.
coordinate this to that. The rest of their components, doesn't matter, they won't put the projector in and everything, but the copper tape needs to go down, the finished floor needs to go down right over it, because you can't walk on it, you can't crimp it, you can't, you know, the floor guy can't just lay his floor and take his knife and start cutting vinyl and cut through it, so it needs to be coordinated.
Does it change the price for the floor guy because there's additional work?
No, there's no additional work for him, he just needs to
Cover
go
it.
in a pace, and the guy needs to stay ahead of it.
Very thin
All
wire.
right, so we had a motion, someone seconded it,
Second,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, all right, all in favor?
And for clarity, what is the motion exactly?
To use the existing system that we were gonna use unless Pat finds out that it's needed.
And then we'll have, if
Yeah,
it is needed,
then we'll
we'll
have
we'll
another
have a meeting in the first week in January.
If not, we have the marching
Right.
orders.
Yep.
So
Okay.
it's the
We're gonna go-
existing system, it's the
We're gonna
radio
go with the
frequency.
RFS system
Yeah.
unless some condition leads us otherwise.
And that
At the direction of Pat.
Right,
early next year, very early.
I mean, I'll have an answer.
It's a lot of power to give them.
All Pat's gonna do is say, let's have a meeting.
Yeah.
I think we should talk about it.
I'll know tomorrow.
And all Pat's gotta do then is show up at the subcommittee meeting on a Thursday morning and say, yes, this is what I wanna do, great, there's 3 of you there, go.
And if he
Because
wants
the
to,
subcommittee
It's out of
has,
10.
the subcommittee has
That works.
fiduciary authority.
Perfect.
If I said
So we
that,
don't even have to have a,
Miss Banker.
that's true.
well, unless we, yeah.
On the-
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, police station project closeout, it is closed out,
Done.
we're done, we don't
So,
talk about that.
well, I was there the other day, and there's still all punch lists, there's pieces of tape on the wall, there's painting that's still going on. Is that the case, or am I wrong? Because
I hear it's all done.
I was there 2 days ago, and there was
Were you
places
in the
that,
cell or just visiting?
it's just the cell, and I got bailed out, but, no, I was in the chief's area, and there was walls that were being painted.
Okay.
They were primed, and they were being changed because they were punch list items still.
I didn't know,
When I talked to Sergeant and Chief 2 weeks ago, I was told it was all done. So
There
if
was
somebody's
primed,
still
there were primed
paying,
walls there.
it has nothing to do with this project, you are closed out and done.
He said they were punch list items.
Okay?
so let's, leave it on till next,
So I don't think, I mean, we should
no,
just
we're gonna
ask
have to
the
with
chief.
Tony, well, let's just ask the
No,
chief.
we'll just ask the chief, are there any punch list items left at that building, or is it done?
Yeah, That's a good question, okay.
That's all.
Are we holding on signing this off just to release the final retainage, or?
No, it's all done.
We already did it, they already paid
So
for it.
anybody that's showing up and still working, say thank you.
Yeah.
And other than that, write it off your list and move on.
All right, let's go with approval of invoices. Carol and Bennett Associates, invoice number 5892, $8,925.
So moved.
Second.
Now, these have all been voted at the Board of Selectmen's meeting already, with condition that this board votes on them and there's no issues. We can just move forward. We don't have to go back in front of the Board of Selectmen.
All in favor?
Aye.
REC Builders Incorporated, number 8, for $460,691.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Colliers International, 23184, for $9,216.67.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else?
If I could request a very quick update on fundraising?
I'm no longer involved with that.
No? Okay.
Well, I think from our past meetings, there is absolutely no fundraising.
Absolutely not.
None.
None.
Can I ask Anita, have you heard anything about a grant to Cogswell, Cosmetics?
I have not.
So, I don't know what's going on.
All right, so can we ask for,
What are we asking them to?
that's a good question.
There's no fundraiser committee.
That's right, there is no committee.
We were told, no, I don't think Lisa can do fundraising. She's the director.
No,
but-
she might have the
And
information.
Phil, you were doing stuff.
I was doing stuff, and then the Council on Aging at the August or September meeting said that they would not conduct fundraising from West Boylston sources for the indefinite future. And that they were taking all other foundation and corporate fundraising into the Council on Aging.
All right, so we get a letter from Council on Aging clarifying the fundraising status, all fundraising to do with the senior center.
Could
As of right now-
Anita ask for that rather than me?
Yeah, I
That's
know.
what he said, yeah.
That's for-
The only money we know other than this budget is the money from the rent of Steve.
Yeah.
That's the only money, and we had a list of what they were
Right.
purchasing with that money.
There may be something to do with pool tables.
No, I think pool tables were in the budget,
There is nothing to put.
but there is something that I was just reminded, exterior furniture, that's not in any budget right
And the,
now.
We have a beautiful patio we already.
and the Friends had talked about patio stones, selling those and
No,
all.
I'm saying about all the furniture out there. That could go under furniture, right, in the budget?
Yes, at this point, we have enough in that $85,000 to $100,000 range, which looks like where we'll end up for furniture. You would have enough to buy some outdoor furniture.
So do we
So-
look at that, so then the question. that
You
we
have
had
nowhere to store
At
it,
the
I may
subcommittee
add.
meeting, we said, okay, so we buy nice furniture out there,
So we're gonna put it,
what do we do with it in the winter?
so you gotta buy a shed for it.
You gotta purchase a shed to put it in, because, those tables aren't easily folded up, and the chairs aren't easily folded up. I've never seen.
Let's put it on the agenda for next time and ask, get Lisa here and ask her to come and tell what we need. We gotta put a shed and we gotta buy the furniture.
Really,
No.
not easily.
What?
Say, the basement of this building is unfinished, but I just asked if there would be room in here, and not really was the answer.
Yeah, I think the tables.
Not
and-
easily.
It would be so hard to get it moved and stuff like that. You're better off buying a shed. Get something that's,
So you
Because
want,
you also have out in the back side of the building, and they're not being built as part of construction, but you do have areas that are designated for future kind of play areas, outdoor games, bocce. You've got a number of planter beds that are drawn where you would put planter beds, herb gardens, whatever type of gardening, and nowhere to store any of the hoses, tools, games, anything like that.
So with that said, would we, if we said we want a shed, would it come out of this construction? Or would we expect there'd be fundraising for that? Because if it's gonna come out of construction, why don't we get some prices on, again, the size of the shed, what we're gonna store in it, all means a lot.
yeah.
And we get a
Well, you gotta find.
8x8 shed and we buy 10
Yeah.
or 20
You gotta find out
outdoor.
what you need for furniture first.
Well,
then you know.
I think the patio area, we need some furniture.
The patio area shows a layout
Oh, it
for
does,
furniture.
okay.
It shows little circles,
So
so
it'd
it's
be
a lot
4 tables, 16 chairs,
in one area.
yeah, and outdoor benches along the front porch that could probably stay there all winter, they'd be under cover. But to your point of selling bricks or patio blocks, that area is all block paved now.
Too late.
I mean, you could sell them, but you're not gonna get anybody to
Put
go
it
there and
engrave
stamp
them, engrave them.
a name in them.
Well, the other place I
So
noticed.
if you were doing it, you would
the
be
front
adding
area, I
on
didn't know that.
to the current patio.
No, a lot of places
So,
have walkways with bricks,
Okay.
and then they add bricks,
Take one out and
you
put
know,
one
as
in, you
people give
think?
money.
Right, you could do that. I'm
I've-
just saying, it's
Yeah.
built. it's-
I've never seen it done that way. All that we've done in this town, we sold the bricks, well, the library, Pride Park, and
Basketball courts.
the basketball courts, all sold the bricks, then built the area.
Yeah, and you can still buy a brick at the library.
And they're changing them, they just pull one out and put one in?
Imagine.
I didn't
So-
know- I
They do it
didn't
in
know you-
Calliope.
Matter of fact, they pull it out, they do it on the other side and flip it back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
so what? can we
Right
get-
now, there's no one doing that.
Can we ask, like I said, again, a letter from, if there's any fundraising at all, anything to do with outdoor furniture, to do with anything? And then at the next meeting, we'll discuss how to move forward.
Yeah, did I miss something at a previous meeting where the fundraising status just changed?
I think we did have a meeting that Phil gave an update on fundraising. It was told that they voted that there's
There'll be
not
no
gonna be any,
vote,
no
no
fundraising.
fundraising.
No explanation?
They said that they had received advice from someone who does fundraising for a living, and said that they strongly advised that the town not go and seek local fundraising right now until the building was open and usable, that they felt that you'd get a negative reaction from people who have so recently approved the bond and borrowing and cost on their taxes for that, that it would be better to wait until the building was open, and then people might be more amenable. To the best of my recollection, that was the discussion.
Yeah, that sounds about
Am I-
right.
Does that ring
Yes.
a bell?
Sounds right.
And
Sounds
and it was
right
also
to me.
said that the billiard tables, et cetera, were in the budget, but I thought I understood those were being donated.
They originally
They
backed
they
out.
took it back. The
Really?
person whoever donated it. Now
We
it
had
is-
them in the budget
Right,
originally.
we had them in the
didn't
budget originally, but the donator backed out.
It's important also to remember that we promised the town meeting that we were gonna conduct fundraising.
I-
Right, well, that's why I was
I don't
asking.
agree with the statement from whoever was gonna do the fundraising, but that's, where can we go?
So do you want the principals, meaning the key players from the COA board at this next meeting?
I think we should.
And you're saying that we promised we were gonna do fundraising. Chris definitely stood up there and said, you cannot count on fundraising, we're voting to do
Correct.
this building out of your tax dollars. If the fundraising happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but you're voting on this. And I'm paraphrasing, but
Correct,
that's,
but
But I said if we do fundraising, it would,
lower the cost.
And Chris, I think you also said that we weren't committing, this group wasn't committing to it. It was the council.
we could not, we
Right,
could not.
it was the
fundraise.
council on aging, I believe is
We
how.
received
Friends of the
commitments from
council.
others that
Friends
they
of the
would.
council, right. So I think that's important as well.
So most
And I-
important, the next meeting is the outside furniture and this shed.
Because I know if we were to build it with this project, it'll probably cost $125,000 for a shed.
I mean,
I
But if
agree
it
about
gets poured in later, I don't know, maybe they fundraise for a shed,
Yeah.
because it's winter now. But the next meeting, talking about fundraising, it's the 9th of January.
could the
Building's gonna-
DPW build a shed?
No, I think we could have one brought in, built.
Yeah.
Have one? No, they can't build a shed.
Yes, Tony? No, I'm just teasing John.
You may also consider talking to planning board about another structure on site.
Well, I think once we decide, I think
But it's
once
sitting
we,
next to you.
But if it's under the size that's allowed without
Right.
any building permit, they have no
Okay.
jurisdiction.
That's only
Alright.
100,
I-
that's
I-
12 by
I-
12.
I don't know what that
120
is,
square
but
feet, I
you are
think.
going to have a heck of a shed out there.
120, isn't it?
So it's a human
Build five of them.
unit.
we'll put 4 12 by 12.
Typically, those tables
Like the
don't
guy
fold
builds
up
on
well.
No,
top of
it's-
the other? Yeah, we will have one of
You need
those.
a huge.
What about just getting good quality covers?
No,
whatever you'd like. I'm in agreement. I think that's a great
That's what I
idea.
do.
Terrific idea.
I don't move them.
All right, moving on. Next meeting is January 9th.
I don't mind
So,
moving on, but where are we leaving this issue?
We're gonna discuss it next meeting, about the outdoor furniture and what to do.
Outdoor furniture
And
and,
in the shed, what we're gonna do. with the
well, I think, and again, with or without outdoor furniture, Tony's 100%. All that, the rakes and the things that they're gonna be
Oh, yeah.
digging as a guide, it's not gonna come in the building every time they.
shed. No, I agree.
That's
You
all right.
might, you might need 2 sheds, you might need 3 sheds. You might need a sheet shed.
That's more like it. Or like the one on Goodyear, I
All
told
right.
you.
I'm not doing anything unless somebody tells me to.
Right now, we're not doing anything.
Okay.
Are we doing anything with this, there's a quote from Westerman's CW Flooring, the Stage Depot. I assume these are things that Lisa wanted to,
Yes, this is an update. It's also going to be for the selectmen. These are the things that they are
For the
moving ahead to
15,000.
use the first 15,000 from Steve McGradigian.
And now that Anita said
How
for
about a shed?
shed and outdoor furniture could come out of the second 15,000.
That's perfect,
Right,
yeah,
that's
that's
what I was
perfect,
just-
there you go.
But yeah, so this is just.
So this is what
so
they
we've-
recommended?
We've updated the list.
You have asked them for specific items, and
Okay.
these are the specific items they want to move ahead with.
Now, have we talked, if you know, have they talked to someone that runs kitchens like this and said, is this what we should get? Or do we need more
I
or
do not
less?
have that answer. I do know that they went to
the people at
Westerman's.
Westerman's
They
have.
went to the
they're
store.
No, because that kitchen's, is a commercial kitchen,
The,
very commercial.
the people at Westerman's sat down with them. I know Westerman's happens to be a client of mine. They sat down with them, talked to them, and worked out what they needed for the kitchen. This isn't just a, hey, here's some stuff.
Okay. So they have this, from Westerman, they have the CW flooring, which is what, mirrors? What is that?
There's mirrors, a mirrored wall.
And which stage, in the stage we're getting, so this is,
Done and gone
this
before
comes
the
in front of the Board of
Exactly.
Selectmen? Because the stage comes with railings and everything, I'm guessing?
Yeah, there's a picture of a railing with the
Yeah,
stairs.
but I don't know which.
It's a portable stage that will be, goes into that large storage room when it's not being used.
The total of these is 11,762.
Yep. So we'll just, I guess this comes in front of the Board of Selectmen.
We can put it on the January 2nd.
If that's, because that's who asked, isn't that who
This,
asked
the
for
Board
it?
of Selectmen asked for the final list.
Okay, so you can put that on
All right, anybody else have anything else? Do you have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
So, I'm gonna make phone calls tomorrow. I'll let you know, hey, I wanna meet with these guys, or my guy said, no, don't get it.
Oh, okay. So hold off sending the